I'm coming straight in here, Polly, and I wanted to thank you, beautiful background, by the way. Thank you for coming on and speaking with me about your 8-week journey on the programme. Now, we've done this sort of quite like we haven't discussed beforehand what we're going to chat about, but is there anything in particular for you that you would like to share with other women that are thinking about how they're feeling about their weight and everything else?
Sure. Well, I mean, the first thing I'll say is my sister took the program or engaged in the program before me, but I remember my sister saying, I never thought it was possible to lose the weight and get back to my normal, get back to what makes me feel good about myself. And when she said that, I thought, I've never heard her say that before. And I believe her, and I started the program. And I am at the place now where she was when she said, I never thought it would happen. I really didn't. I never thought I would find the tools to really find that kind of place for me that worked. And now it's 8 weeks later and I feel great. My blood work has improved dramatically. I am putting on jeans that I hadn't put on for years. And not that that's the goal, it's really ultimately about feeling good about yourself and really walking out into the world and feeling inspired to, be yourself. And when you're feeling comfortable about your body and how you're feeling as you walk through the world, everything becomes so much more enlightened and beautiful. And I'm just having the best time. I would encourage anybody listening to, if you're ready, I think that's a big part of it. If you're really ready and you really feel like you want to change, Ashley is one of the greatest stewards of change that I've engaged with. And I feel like that's a huge part of this program, is having you to really check in with and keep myself accountable. And then now I feel after the 8 weeks that I'm able to do it myself. So I feel really grateful for all of it.
That's amazing. Thank you. Because I think there's some challenges to be had, isn't there? Because there's a huge amount of mindset. And I have to thank you for fully participating in the mindset work. I mean, you've fully engaged in it, and it is a challenge to kind of look at yourself sometimes and be challenged at what you've looked at even. And I think that's, it's great to have a relationship where I'm able to challenge you, and it's valuable, I think, because otherwise who does challenge what we say to ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing I love about the program is that you were able to challenge me and inspire me to keep up with the inner work, but also you made me feel really good about it. I had some ups and downs, as we know, and we all do. And I think that's a big part of understanding what our motivation is to eat and all those patterns that we want to change. It takes time to really look at our dynamic that we use food to do so many different things in our lives. So you helped me do that, but in a really gentle, kind way. There was never any feelings of shame or, I always felt really supported, even when I was on those plateaus or places where I was like, I don't even know if this is working. And I also will say at the beginning, it's a little rocky. For me, it was a little bit like, my body was like, wait a minute, we're not going to keep eating all this junk that makes you feel good temporarily, and then later you feel bad about it. So it was a little bit of a shift for my body, about a week or two, where I was writing to you and not feeling great. But then after that, it's like the beauty starts to set in and you start to feel really comfortable and really happy. And one tip I learned was drinking cinnamon water. I even drink it in a wine glass because it makes me so happy. It's like celebrating. Every time I put those cinnamon sticks into my water, I just think, good for me.
Good for you. And it's great to be gently challenged, isn't it? Because, dare I share this, but sometimes you'd come on and say, oh, we don't need the hour today because we have a 1 hour call every week.
Yes.
And you were kind of, I don't really need the hour was packed. And if there's one nugget from each week, it's a nugget that takes you on a journey that makes it doable. Going from where you were to where you are now is all about finding the language that works for your own personality, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think I commend you, Ashley, because you're able to understand what everybody needs. And you have a lot of people who look to you for doing this work, and you're able to really help each person. I mean, I'm very different from my sister and how she operates, and you were able to really hone in on what was right for me and allow me to blossom in that way. And it's been an incredible experience. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, thank you for pointing it out, actually, because that's what I want to share with people. This is a unique journey, isn't it? And I think that's the difference from, trying so hard on your own with something that you purchase that can be absolutely fabulous, but it doesn't cater for how you have felt that week. Because if you're not catching up with how everybody else is supposed to be feeling, you can be down on yourself.
Oh, it's such a good point, Ashley, because I had tried another, I started with you in March. In January, I had been using one of those kind of apps, programs. And I really felt a lack of personal attention in terms of just catering it or really fine tuning the program for my needs and who I am. And yes, is it a little bit more expensive to work with you? Of course, but I think every single penny has been well spent. Like, I am so glad that I moved from an online app, which just doesn't, it's become very algorithm-like, and, you're not really getting that. You're getting, an algorithm putting you in kind of a container of who you should and who you might be based on demographics. But with you, it is like, and I agree. At first I thought, oh, I don't need a whole hour. I'm good. I got this. But then doing the inner work and doing the program made me realize I did need to really look at why I was eating and all of my patterns. And you really, really helped fine tune that for me.
Yeah, because we get familiar with a language that we're comfortable with, don't we? And we don't want to budge from I know better in a way.
Yeah.
Even if we're out there asking for help, it's quite difficult when someone challenges the thoughts that you've had for many years. And it's like, well, I know myself. Yeah, you do. But equally, let's have a look at it from another perspective. So that's great. And you were open to it. So that's the best thing about it. And it may be a little bit more expensive, I guess, than a monthly outlay. How long are you doing the monthly outlay for to get where you want to go? I guess that's the thing.
It's one of the best investments. Honestly, like my sister said, I never thought I would get to this weight, fitting into the clothes that I fit in. And I have some events coming up this summer, and I'm so excited that I was just telling my husband the other day that I'm so excited that I'm not stepping into summer with that feeling of being like, I'm not fitting into anything. I don't feel good. I'm going to these events with other people. We had a dinner party the other night and had friends over. And I felt so good I had all my snacks from you, my recipes. I had my bagel bites. I had wonderful tools I had cinnamon water. They were all like, what? We're going to start putting cinnamon in our water. Like, we had the best time. And I felt really in control of what I was eating. I didn't feel stressed. And to feel that way as you move into a really important time in your life, or graduation season or wedding season, I feel like I can go to these events and feel really confident and comfortable and just really, truly enjoy myself. Thank you.
So you feel confident now going forward? Because I know that you want to lose a few more kilos.
Yes. Yep. I'm not quite there yet. So I have some weight still to lose, but I am just, even as I said this weekend, I had a day where I ate some things that I wouldn't normally eat. I was celebrating, and it was so easy to veer back the next day and say, oh, I see that and we've talked about this, you and I see that I veered off a little bit and I ate kind of later in the day, which I'm not used to doing. But the next day I was right back. It was smooth sailing, as opposed to the old days where you would feel terrible. And why did I do that? And then it creates this whole kind of,
language.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't do this. I told you you'd fail. I told you you're rubbish. I told you that willpower wouldn't last.
All that, and you helped me learn about willpower. I mean, about the how willpower isn't really, well, you can save that for people who study with you, but I learned a lot about that and about how to talk to myself and how to get back into patterns that I want to be in, as opposed to making myself all that self-talk and those stories we tell ourselves about not being good enough and failure and all of that. I mean, I just feel so much lighter and so much more. So really looking forward to incorporating that in my next couple months and really getting to that actual goal weight that I wanted. But as you've said, it's not really about the weight, it's about how you feel and how you approach your day and how you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. And it sounds like you've got rid of the burden of willpower, because willpower is kind of like a thing, isn't it? It's like, how long have I got this for? And if I cave in, if my willpower collapses, which inevitably will, then I'm going to feel weak. And when I feel weak, what I comfort myself. So there is that, convert willpower into, I guess, knowledge of what you're putting in and what it's doing. And then you start to love your body in a way that you don't really want to put it in, as opposed to you've been denied putting it in.
Exactly. You feel just so happy to be in this body that I want it to feel good. And I don't want to go back ever to feeling that way. And I remember my sister at the end of the program, I said, oh, so how has reentry been? And she said, oh, I'm never going back to the other way before.
Reentry.
Just like reentry, as opposed to just, this is my light style, as we talked about. It's become my light, not life, but light, because I feel so much lighter and so much more in my own personal light. So
yeah, physically and emotionally. So that's an awesome way to end. So
thank you so much for everything, Ashley.
Awesome. And again, I'm always here just to kind of send me pictures of how you're looking and feeling. Updates.
Yeah. And also I've really loved the Instagram posts and your Instagram feed. And I always will check it and say, oh, I think I'll make that today. And I just have so many new tools around food. And even my family's like, oh, my son the other day said to me, Mom, you just seem like you're really walking the walk, like really taking care of yourself and having those snacks available. So when you are feeling a little bit like, oh, I feel like I need something sweet or whatever, I have Ashley's website, your website and your Instagram feed and all your recipes to really support that. So thank you.
And on that note, I do need to make more. So I apologize for my lack. I've been gardening.
Yes.
I need to get back into the kitchen, and I will. Yeah.
Well, there's plenty there for everybody to really enjoy. So thank you.
You take care and lots of love.
Okay.
Have a great day and speak to you soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.